Hello, thank you all for joining us. My name is Jenny Morris. I'm the Executive Director of the Autism Support of Alabama. We're so thankful that y'all joined us today on this Wednesday for our webinar Wednesday. I am excited to introduce you to Kelvin Smith, PhD. Kelvin is a resident of Birmingham, Alabama, and I just had the delight to meet he and his mother a few weeks ago and introduced them at the Autism Conference in Tuscaloosa at the University of Alabama. Kelvin has a lot of things to discuss with you, to tell him about his journey and his path from being diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, and when it was still called Asperger's syndrome. But I'm excited for y'all to hear him speak today. And without further ado, let me introduce you to Kelvin Smith.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Jenny. I'm very happy to be here today, and I appreciate the opportunity to share on Autism Support of Alabama webinar Wednesdays with your listeners. So, so we can go ahead and get started. Can everyone see my screen? Are we all good?
Yes.
Excellent. So it's more than academic ability beyond grades. Hello, everyone, and welcome to It's More Than Academic Ability Beyond Grades. Thank you for joining us live here on YouTube. Over the next 30 to 45 minutes, I will show you why success in college is about so much more than just grades. I'll speak on my first year college autism academic booster sessions and share with you 6 high performance habits that help autistic students thrive. So we'll go over the agenda for today. So I'll briefly talk about our company, KL Speaks, LLC. I'll talk about some common myths about autism students. I'll discuss more about my booster sessions. I'll share with you the 6 high performance habits for autistic college success. I'll give you some key takeaways and summaries from the presentation. And finally, a Q&A and a call to action. So a little bit about our company, KL Speaks LLC. So as you know that I am Kelvin, and I'm autistic, and I have a PhD, yes, and I am a senior data scientist. But yet I still struggled in college. Not because of ability, but because of systems not designed for us. For example, sensory overloaded environments like those noisy lecture halls or crowded cafeterias, the bright fluorescent lights, chaotic hallways and sidewalks, or social and group interactions and expectations, such as when our grades are tied directly to our verbal participation, group work, group projects, networking, small talk, and even eye contact. And also the last minute changes in our deadlines and schedules or formats. It's especially hard for students who rely on predictability and routine like myself. The challenges that I experienced in undergrad and graduate school are the foundation of KL Speaks LLC. It's run by a mother and son team providing 2 services. The first year college autism academic booster sessions and inspirational talks. Our business is designed to empower, educate, and elevate individuals and families on the autism spectrum. You can learn more about our history, academic coaching, and speaking topics, and can subscribe to our website, as you can see here at www.klspeaks.com. And you can email us at contact@klspeaks.com. And you can even follow us on all the major social media platforms. So what are some common myths about autism students? So I'll share with you 3 of them. People say that autism students are smart and they'll just be fine. But what I found is that executive functioning, sensory load, and transition matter way more than just raw IQ. They also say that good grades and having no missing assignments are considered the definition of success for autism students. But in reality, it's the sustainable progress in school, the mental health, and the independence that are far more important. Once all of that is in place, the grades will come. And the third one are that people view us as very bright but inconsistent. But I look at us more as high potential learners that are building these skills and systems independently that work for our brain. So, about the booster sessions. The transition to college is the highest risk period for autistic students, and research continues to indicate that. It's largely driven by the unmet mental health needs, the sensory overload, and executive functioning challenges. While more autistic students are enrolling in higher education, the graduation rates remain significantly lower than their peers. Families often spend many years helping their autistic students get the grades, pass the classes, and reach college. But when those students arrive on campus, something becomes very, very clear. Academic ability alone isn't what isn't what determines whether a student thrives in college or not. College success is built on skills that are rarely seen on a report card. It's the executive functioning, the self advocacy, managing your overwhelm, your mental health, understanding your professor's expectations, and being able to learn how to adapt and recover when things don't go as planned. There are many brilliant autistic students out there that struggle, not because they aren't capable, but because no one ever showed them how to navigate the hidden curriculum of college beyond that on the syllabus. That's exactly why I created these booster sessions, because the goal isn't just getting into college, but to help your students stay there, grow there, and believe in their ability to succeed there. So, some experience regarding this is that I started subject matter tutoring when I was in fifth grade, and I continued through undergrad. Once I began graduate school, I was a teacher assistant for 2 years, and I provided office hours to students. I really enjoy working with them and being able to see the light bulb come on as they get it. That brings me a lot of joy. And my motto was always study to learn, not to pass. The grades will come. I realized that after working with four students with with learning differences ranging from ADHD to autism during my academic coaching program, that I needed to give more than subject matter tutoring. I needed to reach a point where I was prepared to be sufficiently open to present my challenges, reflect upon these experiences, and transform them into actionable strategies that contribute to the success of others. It took me a while to get there, but I am here. It is a new program, but I'm very excited to run it. These sessions are designed specifically for first year autistic college students entering or already in their first year. It's a focused one-on-one 90-minute academic booster intensive that includes executive functioning tools and self-advocacy scripts tailored to common pain points like overwhelm, missing assignments, and asking for accommodations. The emphasis is on these practical executive skills that help manage college life, understanding the hidden rules of college, building your rapport and confidence with professors, and developing systems that work for an autism student's brain. We have a whole different process of thinking. After the session, the student will walk away with a simple system for time and task management, breaking down large assignments into manageable chunks, and 3 practical self-advocacy scripts that they can use with their professors and asking for accommodations. The goal isn't just surviving the first semester. The goal is helping your student feel capable, supported, and prepared to navigate college life. My booster sessions are a quick targeted chance for a student entering college or in their first year to ask me practical questions about classes, professors, accommodations, study strategies, self advocacy, and autistic led systems and tools that I used that proved successful. I am an academic interpreter for autistic minds. I offer targeted decoding of hidden autistic barriers that sabotage high ability first year students despite their academic potential. Those barriers would include the sensory triggers, the fluorescent lights I mentioned earlier, the group work, the changing deadlines, the executive gaps, being able to prevent procrastination, flexibility, task initiation, planning, and even at the way that our minds think, rigid literal interpretation. I offer a safe, supportive space where students can make sense of college expectations and build simple systems that fit their brain. And for you parents, the parent's role is crucial and essential to success for your child, for your autism student. For example, my mom has parent nights, groups, and webinars. She's revamping these services even as I speak to you today. She's very good with parents and shares her experiences raising me and equipping me with the tools earlier on so that when I got to college, I was prepared for the most part. If I were to give one piece of advice to parents and caregivers watching today, it would be that the roles change when your student goes to college. You have been the main advocate and supporter for your child up until college. But once but once your child goes there, he or she must become their own self-advocate and navigate and manage their life. Putting processes in as early as middle school or even earlier, like elementary school, by teaching them the life skills and the responsibilities will help with that transition. And we would aspire to partner with university and disability offices by providing services for waitlisted students needing support within larger university programs. And we also help aspire to support smaller 2-year colleges as well. So before we dive into these 6 high performance habits from Brendan Burchard, who is a renowned life coach, author, and motivational speaker, I want to zoom out for a moment and I want to name the real problem that I see with autistic college students in their first year. Whoops. Most of the time, the issue isn't about ability. It's that college is built on a bunch of hidden rules and unspoken expectations, which lead to isolation, poor grades, and professor misunderstandings. I'll give a real life example. During my junior year of college, I was actually failing one of my chemical engineering courses, and I had a really hard time having a rapport and communication with my professor. In fact, it got so bad I actually had to elevate to the dean of chemical engineering and actually had to have us talk. But thankfully, after that talk, I was able to have better communication with my professor, and I wound up passing the course. That communication is very key. And I want to share some of these unspoken rules. So, for most students, if they're confused, they would email their professor first. But for students like us, we stay silent because of the social aspect of it and fail. For most students, the syllabus is a contract between the professor and you, the student, on what to cover and what to be tested on. But for us, we typically skim, if even that, and we usually miss policies, very important office hour policies. And speaking of office hours, for most students, it's expected to go to office hours to build that rapport with the professor. But for autistic students like us or me, we only go if we are failing, when the house is on fire. And for most students, when they get their grades, they typically ask their professor, "Hey, what can I do to improve this grade?" Whereas for autistic students, they wait for the professor to acknowledge their struggles, which will never happen because it is their responsibility to improve their grades, and thus there will be no improvement. High performers in any field succeed because they have the consistent habits and systems, not because they just got magically more talented. Brendan Burchard spent years studying what those people do differently and found these 6 habits that predict long term success: clarity, energy, necessity, productivity, influence, and courage. What I've done, both as an autistic PhD and as a coach, is to adapt these 6 habits specifically for autistic college students. So let's go. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the first habit: clarity. Clarity is knowing what a good day, what a good week, month, or semester looks like for you. It's taking into consideration what your values are, what your needs are, what your sensory and social limits are. If everything goes well, what would be different in your daily life? It's not just getting up without a plan. It's having these specific daily milestones, an intention like I'll map my classes and my breaks. I'll give you an example. Every day when I wake up, I make sure that I have my backpack organized in a specific way, that I have my notebooks all cleaned up, I have my homework ready, my alarm clock goes off at the correct time. I know where my classes are. I know where I go to get breakfast. I know and my mind is ready to be able to accept whatever the professor is lecturing about. Having this preparation beforehand, like the previous night, lessens my anxiety very much, and it allows me to take control of my learning. Clarity. Then there's energy. Energy is protecting your brain and your body. Having sleep, breaks, decompress yourself. What drains you the most during the school day, and what can you do to recover from it? An example is when I'm at Auburn, there's a lot of people on campus. It can get wild and chaotic out there, outside on the sidewalks. I have to find safe havens, safe spaces. And I was able to find a couple. Sometimes I go to the library. There's certain safe spaces in the student center and even my own dorm where I actually have my own space, my own room. Energy. Then the third is necessity. Why does this assignment matter to your bigger life story? What is its personal meaning rather than not pressure? What is this assignment? How does this assignment connect something that you care about long term, your personal interests? For me, because I'm such a big proponent for mathematics and science, having the engineering courses is really helpful. But I will not lie, there are certain courses I didn't like. But what kept me motivated during that time was I was on a scholarship at the time, and if I didn't maintain a certain GPA, it would get revoked. So that's one big thing. But the other big thing is trying to turn it into something rather than something negative, turn it into something positive. Show it into something like a challenge. Like you want to challenge yourself, challenge how much you know, and showing the professor how much you've learned and how much you've gathered on that test. I view tests and exams as a form of challenge rather than some chore. And that helped me. So the mindset, necessity. Then productivity, being able to do the right work at the right time, focusing on those highest impact tasks, not perfection, being able to prioritize your work. For example, I was juggling a lot of final exams, sometimes up to 3 at a time during my finals week. Sometimes I have to take multiple finals on the same day. It was very complicated. But what allowed me to be successful during that time is being able to know myself enough. Okay, certain factors I need to understand. How much effort am I can I put into this? How easy is this course? Are there certain aspects that I'm not sure about? What should I be focused on most? What can to the back burner, so on and so forth. Knowing those factors help me prioritize and make my anxiety lessen. Then there's influence, the self advocacy and getting the right support. Emailing your professors, emailing your disabilities office for those accommodations, shaping how others understand and support you. The first thing that I got on when I got on campus, the first thing I would do is find the disabilities office and be able to explain my accommodations and what I need to be able to be on a level playing field with everybody else and give myself the best chance of success. And then courage, taking those small, brave steps, sending that first email, asking that one question, using that extended time. For example, I would typically, beyond the accommodations, I always like to sit in the front of the class. I get distracted when I'm in the back of the class. I don't receive information as well. I'm more productive and I'm more attentive and I'm more participatory when I sit in the front of the class. That small brave step of asking for that accommodation was key. So now you've got the 6 habits from clarity to courage. That took me from having meltdowns as a freshman to my PhD. And for those of you in the chat, if you have an autistic student or know someone who could benefit from these 6 habits, you can go ahead and share them in the chat. You can provide regular check-ins with your child, the same core questions, the same habits every week. It lowers anxiety for autistic students. At least this is what my mom did. And it really helped me build a positive foundation for college and for my career. In fact, I'll share some sample questions that you can ask your child today regarding these 6 habits. For clarity, you can ask your child, what's your good enough week? For energy, what's draining your brain the most? For productivity, what is the top task you have to do tomorrow in 3 small, manageable chunks? For influence, who needs an email from you? For courage, What is one brave step that you took this week? And for necessity, did your classes connect to something that you cared about this week? So now some key takeaways from this presentation. Academic ability alone isn't what determines whether a student thrives in college. Success in college isn't just about the intelligence or the grades. It's about managing the time, navigating the expectations, communicating and rapporting with professors, adapting and recovering from setbacks, and learning how to advocate for themselves. The goal isn't just getting into college. The goal is to help your students stay there, grow there, and believe in their ability to succeed there. So thank you all so much for spending this time with me today and listening to my message. If you're a parent or you know someone who wants their student to start college with more clarity, more support, and more practical strategies, I invite you to learn more about the Academic Autism Booster Sessions. You can book a 15-minute booster call by scanning the QR code you see in the middle of the screen, and join our email list on our website at klspeaks.com. You can email us at that email address or by phone at 205-623-3546. Let's stay connected. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Kelvin. That was wonderful. And I thank everybody who joined us today. We had several viewers to join us. And as usual, this webinar Wednesday will be put up on our YouTube page in a couple of days. And we'll also send out a reminder on our social media that this will be, you'll have free access to this on our Autism Support of Alabama YouTube page. I've put a message out there. If you all have questions, please send them in through the chat. And then also, if you do have a college age person, or you yourself are college age and in college or about to go to college, please share your first name and your age in the chat. We would love to hear from you and know who all's with us today. All right, well, wonderful. Well, Kelvin, I do have a quick question, Kelvin, for my own interest. And you may have said this earlier, but do you have to have a diagnosis of autism or Asperger's to work with you? And you're on mute.
So yes, my booster sessions are open to everyone actually, but my sessions are specifically designated for those on autism or Asperger's.
Okay, I just know. Okay, that's good to know, because I know a lot of young people are challenged with ADHD, which has a lot of similar overlap symptoms and, difficulty with executive function. So I wanted to see if you were open to that as well. Okay, wonderful. Well, Kelvin, thank you so much for your time. And for everyone else, please like and follow our pages on Facebook and Instagram for the Autism Support of Alabama. Also, subscribe to our YouTube page. We would love to hear from you and know that you're following us. And for everything else, all of our events and our webinars are all posted on our social media. So please check us out there. And don't forget that we have our Walks for Autism coming up in Huntsville, Birmingham, Montgomery, and Tuscaloosa. And all of that information is on our social media. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining us. Take care.